That is why we say India will have -5% GDP. In other words, you're going to get a blow of thappad on your face. Much of the worst affected areas are those accounting for most of GDP. We are not going to cope very well. Goldman Sachs latest estimate that India will have -5% GDP. In other words, you're going to get a blow of thappad on your face of the kind that you have never seen before since the Great Depression. That is how bad it is going to be. So when you say, how will we cope? The answer is, we are not going to cope very well. We are truly going to be hit by an enormous blow. What you can say is that, okay, we will write off this fiscal year. After that, let us hope for a sharper rebound next year. And we are taking this fort full in the jaw this year. We have not extended the fiscal deficit too much. This will in some sense help the comeback in 2021-22. So I think this is what they are gambling on. But there is no doubt, as you said, that the current fiscal year is going to be absolutely terrible. Whatever they're trying to ease the lockdown. The point is, they are so ambiguous, they can't make up their mind what to do. They say you have containment zones, buffer zones. But whatever you do, factories, services in these zones are intimately connected with all the other factories and all the other players in the other zones. The idea that if you lock down a few zones, the others will function normally is not true. The chains have been broken, and much of the worst affected areas are those accounting for most of GDP. So the idea that I somehow lock down the worst hit places and I open up the others and the economy revives, that is just false. The red zones were accounting for 43% and they are expanding rapidly. So now you say, okay, no red zones, we'll have a containment zone, which is even smaller. But those containment zones have the largest amount of GDP. I think you will have to finally say that, okay, let me open up fully. Don't go by zone wise, but say we will open up, but we will have measures for social distancing. We will have measures for detection, tracing, isolation. We will attempt to educate people to use social distancing. Even within a household, if there are old people should be isolated in a separate room with minimal contact because they might catch it from. So in my view, we have to get through this particular thing. There will be a certain number of deaths. Every death is a tragedy. But a COVID death is not a greater tragedy than a malaria death or a TB death. In India, 10 million people die every year of malaria, TB, diarrhea, strokes, heart disease, all these other things. They are all tragedies. And those are in fact going to become worse because we are focusing so much just on COVID that we are neglecting those others. There will be excess deaths. So I would say that, we cannot avoid a tragedy on the economic front. And in my view, you can't avoid a tragedy on the health front beyond a point. Having said that, the number of deaths in India is surprisingly low. 3,000 deaths is the number of people more than that die every day for many other causes. Your Bombay Metro alone kills 4,000 people every year. So, just as we have learned to live with malaria, we have learned to live with TB, we have learned to live with strokes, I think we would have to learn to live with COVID, open up economic activity with safeguards as possible. Please try and use methods of detection, tracing, and isolation to reduce the rate and the spread of infection. But ultimately, I see no vaccine coming before 2 years. And by that time, I think we would have got herd immunity. Simply by the infection spreading so much that in fact we have herd immunity. So I would say let us go the Swedish way of you open up the economy and give certain guidelines to people for behaving properly. And beyond that, you will live with the disease. It means that you will have more infections to begin with. But if there is a second wave and a third wave, we will not be so badly hit in the second wave and third wave because there would already be larger herd immunity. He says in Stockholm, already 40% of people already have immunity because of the disease, whereas in Oslo only 5%. So it may look as though Oslo is doing better than Stockholm right now. But he says in 2 years' time, you will find that ultimately we who opened up will be better off than those guys who locked down, even in terms of health. So, building on that kind of message, let us say we need to move away from lockdowns to opening up and trying to live with the disease in a sensible fashion. That I think is the best way of combining good sense on the health side and the economic side.